Hi, good morning to Dog Fanatic. I have touched a little bit about this on the past, but I want to get more into it to make sure that people do understand. Um, I'm Penny, your podcast host, Penny McKinney, and I have been involved with dogs my entire life since about the age of 5, really, when I started memorizing little things like sounds of barks and stuff. Anyway, I've been a lifetime groomer. I'm way older than 5 now, and I enjoy it. I love it. I absorb it, and I just know a lot of things. I share with my customers a lot of information that a lot of people don't know, and I decided that I would do this after somebody had mentioned I should talk to more people about what I know because it's all informative and interesting, fun, and educational. So, this um, have you ever been to a show, a dog show, or have you ever seen a dog show? What you see is different than what you feel when you walk into a dog show. So if your child or children like dogs, if you're a dog lover, you know who the dog lovers are. Um, they're the ones that don't go ugh when they get slimed by a Saint Bernard or a Newfie. They just kind of wipe it off and continue patting. So those are the people that love the dogs and they do great with the dogs because they understand dogs are dogs. So that's okay. If a child likes to take a dog and kind of haul in the neighborhood and haul it into the garage and comb it and brush it and play with it a little bit, teach it tricks, have it jump through hula hoops. These are all little things that I used to do when I was a kid. It's fun. And then, when they look in the ears and they see sometimes powder in the ears, they wonder, why is that powder there? I never asked that question until I became a groomer. Now I know why the powder was there. So if they're interested, if kids are interested, or if you know you're a dog lover, there are ways to get involved in the dog world. And one of them is uh, through junior showmanship or even handling, which you would be there. There's a way of getting a dog. Show dogs are expensive. They're wicked expensive. And if you want to get into it, there are ways of doing it that doesn't break the bank. But you have to be open to however you may be able to get a dog. So you don't want to go buy something for showing that's just purebred. You have to have AKC registration papers and you have to have breeder's rights. You can also go through UKC or CKC. UKC is United Kennel Club, CKC is Canadian Kennel Club. For a lot of those shows, you can only attend them. You can sign up for CKC or UKC with AKC papers, but you can't always sign up for the AKC papers with UKC and CKC papers. So it's a little confusing. AKC is more elite as far as show goes with dress code. You want to look good. You want to look like a professional. A common thing to wear are for women blazers, like a longer skirt or pants, or men. Some of them wear ties. Some of them wear a jacket, or a vest. They look professional. Sneakers are usually worn just because it's sometimes they're outdoor shows and they're on the grass, and you don't need to be wearing beautiful shoes and slip and break an ankle, and have your dog take off, and it would be a mess. So you don't want to do that. So sneakers are definitely encouraged. You won't break anything. You won't hurt your dog falling on it. So that's always a plus. And sometimes there are indoor shows and there are outdoor shows, and that would be mentioned on the site. You can go on akc.org and find out where confirmation shows are. There's a bunch of them around. There are thousands of shows around the United States that I'm aware of, and all over Canada. And then they have a Bermuda show. They have shows in England that are the best of the best. I mean, they've got shows everywhere. Um, it's definitely an elite experience. It's fun. Um, you're definitely rubbing elbows with the big wigs, and it's a great atmosphere to get into, and it's a great upbringing for kids. So if you decide to go for shows, I'm going to let you know how you can get a dog, because to get a show dog, you want to go through championship lines. To see championship lines, people will advertise that. You can again go through akc.org, Puppy Finder on their site, and you can see all the breeds that are listed. Now, these aren't all the people that have show kennels. You can look up if you want to get in. There are two sizes for beagles. There's a 13-inch beagle, and then there is a 15-inch beagle. So if you decide to go with a 13-inch beagle, they would be listed on. They could be listed on akc.org for Puppy Finder. Make sure you look for 13 or 15-inch, whichever you prefer. And there's no such thing as pocket beagles, and there's no such thing as really teacup. That's not a thing. People just invent that because they rename names because they're trying to sell their dogs. There's guidelines. There is toy. There is miniature. There is standard for different breeds. And there's no Moyen over here in the United States. That's a English. That's an English expression, and it does mean something over in England, but it does not apply over here to the United States. Because I hear it quite often, a little pet peeve. So anyway, if you want to get a dog, you go on the akc.org site, you look up the breed, then you can check out the breeders. The other thing you can do online is you can look up 13-inch beagle show kennels, and then hopefully some will pop up near you. They may not pop up near you. You might have to be a couple states over. You might have to be over the country. And then you can do any breed. You could, whether it be a Saluki, a Newfoundland, Saint Bernard. I got mine through Cash Retreat Kennels. My Saint Bernards, I loved them. They were great. Ivan Palmblad, and he is also a judge. And he just knew his stuff and has beautiful, beautiful Saint Bernards. But it's pricey, like I said. So if you can find a dog, depending on what breed it is, you might be able to get a show dog for as little as $2,000, and then it can go up to $7,000 for a puppy, or sometimes more, depending on the titles, the dog's studded and the bitch, what they have, their background. Dogs are expensive, and to get the best of the best, you have to pay the best. However, there is a loophole. There's always a loophole. So if you're very interested and you're open to options, which is a good way of saying it, what you could do is go to a show and check out the handlers and, something closer to you. But remember, people do travel for shows because they need points to get their championship. So they could be traveling from different states. Anyway, talk to these people, whatever breed you like, and ask them, do you do co-ownership? Or you can do it after the show. You can get all their information, the owners' names, the handlers' names, whatever breeds that you like, and see which one that you would like to have. And then you need to talk to them individually, whether it be after the show or during the show. A lot of times during the show, everybody's a little excited. Some people are frazzled. Most are excited. There's a lot going on. It's just a very energetic atmosphere. There's always something going on. And so talk to the owners and the handlers and find out if they do co-ownership. So co-ownership is when they still have rights to the dog, and but they have co-ownership papers. That way, usually if you are going to co-own a show dog, you have to show the dog. You have to get them out there. And then if you could get them into another sport as well, to keep them in really supreme shape, I personally would suggest that you do that. But showing is very time consuming. It's a lot of training. It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of bonding with your dog. I'm going to give you a hint. If you're showing a dog, don't ever teach it to sit. You really don't need to teach a dog to sit unless you're in an obedience trial and you have to do a sit stay. But dogs, yeah, generally, stand is a good one. If you if you have a dog show, either stand or up, whatever word you want to use, and get them to stand and stay still. Um, that would be 100 times better than sit, because sit is just hard to get out of their brain once they've got it. So try for stand, which is much better. Stand for examination, because the judge will come over and open their mouth and look at their bite with their teeth and make sure it's a nice bite, not overshot with the top teeth going over, or undershot with the jaw extended past the front teeth. They've got to have a good bite. They've also got to have a good coat. Um, uh, Not like a long haired dog, like a golden retriever shouldn't have a curly coat. So, I mean, those are all examples. The eyes, the ears, the everything on the dog, temperament, everything is important in conformation dogs. So you have to have the best of the best in the background. So anyway, if you want to get involved in that, there are breed clubs in your area as well. And there is an AKC all breed club, which I would encourage you to become part of, because that way you can also attend classes. They're called handling classes. You can go to that so you can learn how to handle a dog at a show ring. And then there's also matches you can attend before you go to a dog show, so you can build your confidence up and you learn what is expected in the show ring. There are different patterns that you do in the show ring. A judge may ask you to go up and back, which is to the end of the ring directly across from him and back to him. Now he's looking for different things. He doesn't want sidewinding, where the dog takes his butt and kind of sidewinds it out to the side either way. He wants to make sure the legs are going directly up and down. He doesn't want them failing out to the side. He doesn't want the elbows sticking out. He wants to see that the dog conformation is great. He doesn't want to see a lot of rolling. There is some expected in the larger, heavier breeds, like the St. Bernard and the Newfoundland. That and the Bernese Mountain Dog, those are all kind of expected, but not too much. It's got to be a happy medium. And what the judge's job is to do is to get the dog that he places as close to the standard as possible. And he knows the standard in his head for each breed that he judges. He knows it by heart. So he may ask you to go up and back. He may ask you to take your dog in a circle, and he may ask you to do a T, which is a little tricky, but you can figure it out. You got this. So, so there's different patterns that he has you do, and they're for a reason. They're just so that he can, really take a look at the dog and see how it moves and all that. So, and then he would, after everybody goes through, he would let everybody go in a circle, your breed. And then he would pick out 1, 2, 3, and you got to watch him because it goes really quick. And then 1 is first place or best of breed, 2 is best of opposite, and 3, I can't remember what that is. It's been a while since I've shown. But it's exciting, it's fun, and actually, I'm going through a time right now where I'm really missing having a dog, and I'm trying to figure out what I can do if I could possibly get back into showing again, or whatever I want to get into. There's a ton of dog sports available. So you definitely, when you get a dog, you want to go through showways. You want to go through conformation dogs, especially if it is if you want to get a show dog. You definitely want to go through a show kennel. Do not go through somebody that says they're purebred, they have AKC papers. That's not a show dog. Show puppies are judged by the time they're 6 weeks old. I'll give you this is kind of interesting. I've known this forever, but at the 6 weeks of age of a puppy is a great time to see a puppy. The reason why is because the miniature version that you're looking at is exactly what it will look like as an adult. So that's like the golden time to go visit a puppy. So if you can ever visit a puppy, do it at 6 weeks. That's the week that a lot of times other show people will come and they gather together. And sometimes there's a judge in there too, and they pick out one or two puppies that would be best for showing. And usually the kennel will hold on to those dogs, whichever ones were chosen, and the rest are sold as pet quality. So if a person wants you to take a dog, there's not a ton of them available for show dogs, a co-ownership, but they may be interested in giving one of those two dogs or three dogs, if they're really lucky, to a co-owner. But you have to meet the responsibility of it. You have to do the work. You have to show. They need their name out there. So the other thing that you want to avoid is if somebody has a kennel and they have 45 females and a couple of males, that does not make a show dog. That sounds kind of more like a puppy mill. There are really nice show kennels where they do hire staff to help out with cleaning dogs and socializing with them. They're not gigantic, but there are some out there. They might have up to 10 dogs. They're very well taken care of. You can go through one of these. That's not a problem. If you want, I mean, there are other people. There's different living situations for dogs. That is okay. There are some dogs that they have to be outside at some point, especially St. Bernards, Newfoundlands, Bernese Mountain Dogs, because in the wintertime is when they grow their coat because they have to protect themselves from cold. Plus, these dogs love the cold. They do not want to come in. They love being outside. So cold air is a good coat stimulator. I've told a lot of my people about it. In the wintertime, if your dog doesn't have much of a coat, just get it outside more often because we put the heat on and the dogs, I mean, they're shedding their coat when they're inside and then they're trying to grow it when they're outside. So the dog's system is a little bit confused. So the more they're outside, the better the coat that they have, the better the skin issues, all that. I'll get into that in a different episode. So, so talk to these people about co-ownership. The owner handlers and the owners and the handlers. There's a will, there's a way. You might have to ask a couple of people. There's a lot of breeds out there. Pick out 3 breeds that you really would like to do. Do you want to deal with a coat? Do you want to do a poodle? That's a lot of work. You would have to be in charge of the grooming. With long-haired dogs, you want to, at the very most, go over the least, groom them like every couple of days. When I had my show St. Bernards and Collies, I comb them daily. Of course, I'm a little bit of an addict with grooming. I have been grooming since I was very young. So that's just kind of my thing. It's relaxing for me anyway. It's a therapeutic thing. So one thing that you can do with kids, if you have a child that's interested in it, they can get into junior showmanship. And they're at the akc.org shows, also UKC and CKC. But those shows, they teach kids everything. The kids have to be at least the age of 9 up to 18. They learn everything about the dog. They're in charge of the dog. They have to help with the dog going to the vet. They need to know that the dog is updated because you need all vaccinations when going to a show. You want a healthy bunch of dogs. You don't want to spread out diseases, kennel cough, all that. They have to be updated on all vaccines for shows, worms, everything have to be taken care of. The coat has to be in supreme shape. So the child is responsible for grooming. They will learn how to take care of the dog through the owner handler, the co-owner, the child will learn through classes what's okay, what's not okay. They will have some, the dogs will behave great because it's expected of them. And the kids, when they go into classes and training and all that, they learn everything that needs to be done. So they work on it and it becomes a hobby. And usually the owner, you would end up paying for going to the dog shows and getting points. And with junior showmanship, the junior or the child would be getting evaluated, not the dog. So the child could enter the dog in junior showmanship and then enter it again through breed classes. And breed classes start 3 to 6 months and then 6 to 9 months and 9 to a year. So those are different puppy classes that they can compete in. And there are matches also that you can go to. At matches, they're like practice shows, and you do get ribbons, but they're like the singular ribbon, kind of like kids winning a race or whatever. It's like a practice, but it's nice to have a ribbon. You don't receive points, but at least you're getting the idea. You're training. It's kind of intimidating when you're not used to it. Showing a dog, setting a dog up. Doing a T pattern for the first time. What if you screw that up? You feel like all eyes are on you. So it's good to go to the match, and you have to have a good time with it, because you want your dog looking the best and enjoying it and trotting and being proud. You want to look good, and you want to show off the color of your dog. You don't want to overdress for your dog. You don't want to get all the attention. You want to get your dog to have all the attention. So you want to be color coordinated with your dog, and you want to be proud of your dog. You want to show your dog off, and you'll learn how to do that in handling classes. You'll learn how to do that in the matches, and you will continue to learn how to do that in the show. When you do show, you can, or a child does, they can also handle the dog in classes. You want to make sure they can handle the dog. If they have a male, it's referred to as dog, female is bitch. The problem with bitches is they blow their coat a lot every time they go into heat. The other thing is they go into heat. When they go into heat, they are not allowed at any dog sport. They're not allowed at the show ring because they wreak havoc. They're not doing anything. It's not them, it's the males. The males will fight for a female. So they do not want dogs in heat at shows. So just you have to track the heat cycles and be on top of it, and you will do fine. But you just have to work around their heat cycles. The males are easier because they don't blow their coat. They've got a beautiful coat. They have to have great nutrition. They have to be fed whatever the owner or handler wants them fed. They need to have their shots. They need to be taken care of. They need to be of sound mind. They have to be in sound shape. So they have to be physically active. There's just a lot in detail. And then when you do show, depending what breed you choose, if you choose a German Shepherd, if you choose a Poodle, if you choose a Doberman, a Rottweiler, a Boxer, Chihuahua, Miniature Pinscher, these are all very popular breeds. So with popular breeds, when you do go to a show, you need more dogs in the ring in order to get points. When I first started out with Visualist a million years ago, um, they needed 15 points, but you could get 3 points having two dogs there with, like, if you entered in German Shepherd, when you compete against 20 points because they're so popular. I mean, you have 20 dogs in the ring, you might get 2 points because it's just such a much more popular dog. So it is more difficult to get points. And then before the show comes, you do need to fill out the paperwork for the show, the application. And you need to fill that out and make sure you're a female, bitch does not come and eat, because you can't go to a show with that. It's just it literally wreaks havoc. So you want to you check the show when you get the show bulletin in the mail. It will show how many are entered at the show that you have signed up for. Sometimes people pull out if there's not enough dogs, they won't go. And sometimes people will go, but it's up to you in the end. If you like, check and, yeah, you cannot be present if your female decides to go into heat. It is what it is, but um, it will also be listed on the bulletin what sexes they are, what ages they are. There are some new dogs coming out and miscellaneous class, which is like rare breed. And they're like the Nobotan Spot. I'm kind of interested in that breed too. They're just really, I think, cool little dogs. But there won't be a lot of them at a show. You guaranteed. So the less dogs, but you'll still be making points, and you're showing the dog, you're getting it out there, the information. If you were to go for one of those dogs, they have to be they have to be seen. The breeders want them to be seen. They need to be in the ring. That's a good dog to get into co-ownership with. Rare breeds, they want out in the ring. Some of the owners would rather have the money because they're super expensive because they are a rare breed. A lot of these dogs are imported from overseas, so they're at least going to be $7,000. Some people want the money more than the dog. There's a lot of money that they're putting into these dogs, but so make sure you know what's available, cost, because all they all have different prices. All the breeders set their own prices. You just have to see who is more open if you do want to do a co-ownership. Sometimes with the co-ownership too, if you have a female or bitch, they might want a couple litters out of her, either 2 or 3 litters. You have to show. You have to have a certain dog food. All shots need to be taken care of. After 3 litters, the dog will be spayed, and then the dog would be yours completely. And when she has the puppies, some breeder owners want to keep them, handlers want to keep the dog at their house when it's been bred up until the point where it delivers and then the puppies are weaned. They might want to keep your female there for that amount of time. If you have a male, they just might want to use them for stud here and there, which is a lot less time it would be with them, but you just have to decide what you want to do. The other thing is they might allow you to have the puppies at your house too, because they've got a lot of dogs at their house. So each circumstance is different. You need to sit down and talk to them about it, what is expected. Like I said, stay away from puppy mills. You'll know because one way of knowing is before you go in, they want to charge you $500 and you're not allowed to bring a phone or camera or anything that can take pictures. That's a cue. Stay away from puppy mills. If your heart sinks, don't leave with a dog. I don't care what they say. You can report it, but don't leave with a dog. Show dogs, they come from the best of the best care. They want a clean coat. They're going to make sure that those dogs are taken care of. Even if they're in a kennel outside for a while during the day, they're going to make sure that those dogs they're healthy, they're happy, they're clean. You can't take a dog with a dirty coat and a ring that's stained from urine and feces. You can't do that. The dog has to be in the best of the best shape, top groom, great form, best quality food. So you can tell a show dog is um, very well taken care of. Occasionally, you'll come across a kennel that they're not. Just say, maybe I need some time to think about it. Walk away and think about it. It might be good for you to walk away and think about it in any kind of condition because you really want to make sure that you can make the effort, that you can show up at the dog shows, that you can fulfill your part of the bargain, and that you're okay with, missing your female if you do get a female for that amount of time. However, be clear on what co-ownership rules entail, and good luck with it because as far as dogs goes, where there's a will, there's a way. You can get a dog and you can Have fun with it. The thing is about showing too, you're building up an incredible bond with the dog, and that's fantastic. So, thank you for coming and listening to Dog Fanatic. And I will be talking about different topics. Please write in the comments about what you might like to hear about. I know a lot, and I'm always educating myself on a lot. So if you would like me to talk about anything in the future, please tell me what you're thinking, what your thoughts are, something you're going through with your dog. If you have a question, if you want me to research something, because I love researching, and I will do a future podcast and I will be in touch and try and give you a phone call so I know everything that you're concerned about with whatever topic you want to be involved with. I want to thank you. This has been Penny, your podcast host. I have a tough time saying that word. And I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.